So I've been cleaning my house, finally emptying out some boxes and getting things into the cupboards where I want them. Bring a little order to life. It's been good on a number of levels. First off, because now I can actually have people come into my home without embarrassment. But also, it's just easier to live when things are well ordered. There's a freedom that comes with a well-ordered home. Right? The freedom to enjoy the space, not to crawl over boxes and not to have to search for things, but to know where they are because they're in the place they're supposed to be. Right? So when we're looking at the commandments of God, we're looking at the order that He has given us for our relationship. Right? This is what the commandments are for. They are for ordering ourselves toward God and toward each other so that we can be free. Right? So that we can be rightly ordered and we can have ease in our relationships. And it's a beautiful thing when we do it right? When we give the Lord His place and we let Him be first in every aspect of our lives, there's a tremendous freedom and joy with that. The happiest people I know are vowed religious because every moment of their day is prescribed by the order of their life, which is directed toward prayer and working in God's name. Right? They are so free from any distraction because they have the external order imposed on them by the order and the internal discipline of years of practice in virtue. And the two together make for a tremendous freedom, and freedom is joyful. Right? So that's the goal for us. And the beautiful thing about religious life is it shows us ordinary folks what we could have. Right? They live it in an extreme way so that we say, you know what? I could have a little more order to my life. I mean, I don't have to become a monastic to have prayer time in my day. Right? To set aside that one day a week, the Lord's Day, right? Our version of the Sabbath, and make that my family prayer day. Not just my family day, but my family prayer day. Right? So our whole day revolves around the Holy Mass and praying as a family and offering to God what belongs to God. Making sure that my family, my household, and everybody involved in my life knows God is first, right? That God is the Lord of my life, and that I live in relationship with Him. Right? That ordering of our lives gives the framework. Right? They're the bones of the body of Christ. So when we ask ourselves, why do I struggle with the commandments? Right? People ask me this sometimes, and I joke a little bit about it, right? People say, do we really have to follow all the commandments all the time? And my response is, well, don't you want to be free all the time? I mean, do you want to be a slave a little bit? Because that's what it is. When we giving way to our passions, we're enslaving ourselves to a part of our body or a thing in this world or whatever it is that we're giving power over us. Even if it's a seemingly neutral thing, if we give it God's spot, we're disordering our whole lives. Right? So I joke about coffee, but man, 2 weeks into Lent, and I am realizing what a power coffee had in my life. Right? Even other sources of caffeine do not scratch that itch. Right? I'm learning to love iced tea, but it's not coffee. Right? I had idolized this bean. It's stupid, it's petty, it's earthly, but I really enjoy this thing, this created thing. And I've been giving it a little bit of God's glory. Because I won't start my day without coffee, that'd be ridiculous. But would I start my day without prayer? I mean, really, that's what we're talking about. If we're ordering our lives, we need to make sure God has His proper place. And that's why the commandments are ordered as they are. And they're given in the context that they're given. They're given in the context of God revealing Himself on the mountain, right? Very clearly, hi, I'm God all-powerful. This storm will grind your bones to dust if you come too close to the mountain. So you know who I am. You want to live in relationship with me? You want my protection? You want me to keep feeding you with the manna that sustained you for a couple months now? You want me to keep you out of that place of slavery that was Egypt? Then this is how it's going to be. This is how I order my household. I come first. God has the right to say that. He is all-powerful. He is the center of all things. So he gets to dictate the terms. And he makes it pretty simple. Don't go making something, an image of this world, to take my place. Don't make something lesser take my place. Right? I am the Lord your God. You have no other gods besides me. Not even coffee. So God says, I'm a jealous God. Right? I want you in relationship with me, but it's an exclusive relationship. I'm not going to share you with Marduk. I'm not going to share you with Isis. I'm not going to share you with Anubis, any of the gods of Egypt. That you know parts of their heart were still involved in some of the superstitions of the pagan culture they were immersed in Egypt. We know this because, meanwhile, down on the plain, they're starting to make a calf, a golden idol, to take God's place. Right, so the Lord knows us. He knows our human nature, and he knows we need these limits to keep ourselves safe, so we don't fall off the cliff into the depths of sin. I had a young man came to me a while back when I was in St. Cloud, and he had had an affair. Right, he was 22. He'd been married for 3 years, and he'd already fallen out of love with his wife. And he said, how did this happen? Right, how did this happen to me? I love my wife. I do. But there was this girl at work, and it had started off as playful banter. Just a little flirtations here and there. Makes you feel good. Hey, I'm still attractive to other women. That's nice. But it ate away at the order of his life. And slowly that bond with this other woman overwhelmed the bond of his marriage and destroyed it. And he was devastated because he knew what he had done. He knew the gravity of his sins. Beautiful thing was, after this conversation, I got him to go to confession. Right, so he was able to unburden himself of that sin and go back to his wife with a fresh heart and say, let's start again. And thanks be to God, she was willing to do that. Right? Because that's how sin works on us. It slowly pulls us out of the order of our lives. It's like saying, you know what, I can put this box in the middle of the living room. I can walk around it. It's fine. It's just one box. Okay? But then I put another box with it. And all of a sudden that becomes the place for boxes. And then I'm having to squeeze through between the boxes, and what used to be the living room is now a storage room. And all of a sudden I'm a hoarder. And I don't have a house, I have a warehouse. And I can't live. We do that with sin so easily. Right? It seems innocuous at first, but slowly and surely we let the sin build up and overtake the order of our lives. And all of a sudden we have this punishment that our Lord is talking about. Okay, you go and devote yourself to other things, that's going to be visited upon your family. Right now, I don't have kids in my house. But if I was a married person doing those same kinds of things, and the kids want to come in and they want to watch television, and there's a box in the way, right? We can't have basic order in the family because of my baggage. The Lord is a jealous God. He has a right to be jealous, right? We need to keep holy his things, keep holy his day. And then we have those commandments that order us, right? Honor your father and mother. Boy, howdy, if there's an underrated commandment, I think that's it. Right? We all say, oh yeah, of course I honor my parents. Of course I do. But do I visit them? Right? One of the greatest hurts on my soul right now is when I go into the nursing home, and there are people who I'm the only person they see. No one from their family has visited them since COVID started. Right? That just breaks my heart. They have kids, they have grandkids, they're here. But they're not willing to take the chance and spend some time with mom and dad, or just call and honor them in that way. Yeah, it might be annoying. Yeah, you might have the same conversation you've had 1,000 times because grandma's mind is going. But it's important that you do it so that your kids see that our family is ordered towards respect for our elders. So mom and dad respect their parents, I'm going to respect mom and dad. And we continue that order down for 1,000 generations. Right? That blessing doesn't go away. And if we are as families well ordered, then those little things aren't going to get in the way. Right? Because the well-ordered family is going to be our external protection. If my kids know, right, as I told all of you, I'm giving up coffee. And then I go out to Lake's Cafe and I sit down and someone puts a cup of coffee in front of me, Everyone in that restaurant is going to say, "Oh, Father, you said." They're going to keep me on the narrow path. I'm giving them that permission as my family, right? You can heckle me about the coffee. Now, next Friday, the Solemnity of St. Joseph, when we get there, I'm going to enjoy a coffee, okay? Because the Solemnity is a Sunday, right? So don't give me crap on that day, right? Sorry, a couple Fridays from now. I'm that excited. I'm looking forward to those days when I can, quote unquote, cheat, right? But the commandments are our framework, right? They're the basic guidelines that keep us in line, internally, externally. We hold each other to them to rightly order our society, and God holds us to them to rightly order his creation. Without them, we descend into sin, disorder, pain, and suffering. It's not what we're called to. We're called to a well-ordered world, given that order by God, and focused, as all things should be, on him.